security fence, security cameras, and a guard hut. What have they got in there? King Kong? I found a really weird structure on Google Maps, and I think that this tunnel is gonna lead me right to it. Let's go and have an adventure.
Like a creep, so hungover I couldn't speak. I met that group last night, and he shook my hand in the end and said, "You ain't got me losing. What you gonna do about it?" I'm gonna hit that bottom.
Sorry for giving you a heart attack. Those two guys over there were down in a level beneath me, and one of them was going to throw a rock over the edge, and they sort of joked and said, just make sure there's nobody down there. He threw the rock, and as soon as it hit below, I just went, ah! And whatever way the acoustics are here, it must have made it sound like it came from below, because they nearly had a heart attack. They just went, oh, and started looking over the edge, and I was just standing up there creasing myself. I feel this bit bad, but maybe they'll think twice about chucking rocks over ledges. Alright, before we get too far into this video, I need to make a little bit of a disclaimer, and that little bit of a disclaimer is that these areas I'm going to today are not technically open to the public, and while I don't think they're particularly any more dangerous than a day on sort of, you know, slightly technical terrain in the mountains, if you're going to come here, you do very, very much do so at your own risk and totally against the advice of the landowner. And now let's go up there. Just in case you're wondering where I am currently halfway up what can only be described as the remnants of a ruined mountain here in North Wales. It's been dug out, quarried for its slate, and the reason I haven't shown you the first half of me getting up there is because right down there by those huts is where I camped last night, because I was here yesterday and overnight making a video. I explore a lot more areas up here, including some really interesting ones that I think you'll want to see, and I talk about the history of the area, and as is becoming typical with this channel, tell a few stories about the gruesome ways that people met their demise here. So if you finish watching this video and feel that you haven't quite had enough, I'll link that one at the end of this video. But I am now trying to get to a level I've never been before, and I think I need to go directly up there. This is piles of scrap slate from the slate quarrying industry that used to be here. I'm not going to tell you about it now, that's in the other video. But today we are trying to find out what that mysterious shape, which is essentially seems to be on the top of the mountain. And ever since I spotted it in Google Maps, I wanted to know what it is. That's what we're looking for. But I flew the drone up here yesterday, and there's a lot of other interesting stuff up here. There are just levels upon levels upon levels of buildings up here. I've been told one of the buildings up here has got some really weird old cutting blades in it, but this place closed in 1969, and ever since then it's been sort of the domain of rock climbers and people exploring and photographers, even though once again you're not really meant to be up here, and there are signs. I feel like the signs are there for insurance reasons, because I've never heard of any actual attempts to enforce anything. Oh, look at that. Okay, what's in here? Oh, look at that. Oh, it's a belt. Look, you see that? See the belt? That, do you know what that is? I know exactly what that is. I think That's a boiler for a steam engine that drove this massive belt. You can see, look, it's ripped off. But what did that drive? That must have driven something that's no longer here. Huh. What else is in here? Ooh, oh, look at that. The old benches and everything are still here. That's mad. Let's take a look through here. Ooh. I feel like I'm just gonna keep making noises every time I go into something. Look, whoa, it looks like it's got a face. Sandblaster? Look, there's another wheel, so that spun and drove something, maybe out there. Look, that's a magnetic coil of some sort. Look, see that? Was that some kind of dynamo? I'm totally guessing here. I've got no idea and very limited engineering experience. Let's see what's in here. Another one. I'm so glad I come up to these higher levels. This drone is great for having a drone that follows you, but it is really good at crashing. Let's try that again. This is a slate mill. See those blades? Those blades were used to cut the big chunks of slate that they brought down off the mountain and cut them into like final square pieces to be used for roof tiles, tabletops and pavements and all the things that slate get used for. That's why it's so thick. This was actually the most dangerous job in the quarry, and it wasn't because of the blades, but if you want to find out why, you're gonna have to watch my other video where I talk about the reason. The people who worked in these sawmills had a life expectancy of 34 years, which is just insane. Just picked up another subscriber. Thanks. I've got a little bit of news for you all, and that news is that I finally have a new website. For the last couple of years, I've been juggling between my personal website, which was just a single page with not very much on it, and my business website, Grafters Media. Now that I've been started doing YouTube full time, nobody contacts me through my business website anymore, and it got hacked over a year ago. I haven't got around to replacing it, but I now finally have stephenjreid.com, and on that site I'm going to be putting, might have a bit of a blog. I've been asked to do that for a long time. A lot of the videos I make have scripts, and those scripts are written, they're sitting. I could publish those as stories on the website if you like to read. Why am I doing this while walking up a hill? Whew. So if you like to read, hopefully I can put those on there. I might also have a little online shop, maybe a digital shop where I could sell things like camera presets, and if I ever get round to making merch, I'll put all of that on there as well. And that has all been made possible by the sponsor of this video, which is Squarespace. I actually started my career in web design and web development and eventually quit it because I hate it, just how much of a nuisance it was coding and trying to get designs to work on every type of platform. And I left the world of web design behind and I never looked back. So while I do technically still have the skills to build my own website, that's a hole in the ground. I just couldn't face having to go back. So with Squarespace, Haven't had to worry about any of that. I was able to find a template that I quite liked, and then I just kind of added my own graphics, my own information, just basically populated the design, and that's it, up and running. There's bolt-ons for things like e-commerce, e-newsletters, and other great stuff on there as well. So I gotta thank Squarespace for making these videos possible. So if you are interested, head to squarespace.com/Stephen J. Reid, where you can get, I think it's 10% off your first website or domain name. Right, where are we going now? On up that way, and I've got some bad news. Ooh, there's a big hole in the ground there with some kind of, look, some kind of big wheel in it. This is exactly why you shouldn't come up here. Imagine coming up here in the dark and stepping. No, I'm not sure what way I need to go. Do I need to go that way? Or is there, oh look, there's a cart that looks like some terrible accident has occurred here. Definitely looks like it used to be up there and came tumbly jumbly slumbly rumbly dumbly down this hill. The bad news is that I was talking to those two guys who went past, and now they weren't trying to get to that structure at the very top, but they have been up there and they think the way might be blocked. So I'm not going to turn around, I'm going to keep going. Ooh, we're really starting to get high now. Look, that's where I camped last night. About double that height, and I feel like there's another same again to go. Right, this way. I do need to hurry up a bit because I don't know how long it's going to take to get on up here, but I have to turn around in an hour if I'm to get back down before it gets dark. I'm trying to improve my fast packing ability at the minute. I want to do fast packing adventures over the summer, camping, running, exploring, because it lets me cover a lot of ground quickly and just explore new places. It does mean it's going to be a more casual style of filmmaking. It's not going to be to my sort of high-level documentary standard, but it's a type of video I really enjoy making, and I hope that other people enjoy watching them as well. And I'm going to try and maybe tie in a little bit of history, a little bit of documentary into them, but yeah, a little faster paced and maybe a bit more fun. You can't tell me that men managed to build these, bringing these rocks up here, building them by themselves. There's no way. This had to be aliens. There's no way people could have done this. I'm going to start an Egyptian pyramid style conspiracy about the Welsh quarrying industry. And ooh, the sun is struggling to come out. Another big wheelie windy thing. Once you've seen one wheelie windy thing, you've seen them all. Oh, I think I'm supposed to be on top of that. Here we go. We're up over 600 meters now. The oxygen's starting to get thin. We're nearly there. We're about 150 meters away from the structure, and oh no, there is a fence and some kind of, it looks like a guardhouse. I'm gonna go up. I think I can see a path going up. Aha, we're in. Okay, it was just the lens of the camera was in, but what is this place? There's a guardhouse, there's security cameras, and there's this concrete rim of a thing over there. I think I'm gonna put the drone up and see if I can get a peek in over the top. Well, this is a fine howdy-do. I flew my drone up, it lost connection with the app, and instead of intelligently flying back down to Earth again, it's just hovering up there and won't come down. And I can't get it to reconnect. I'm going to have to stand here until the battery runs out. Oh, finally! As soon as I flew up, sort of slightly over the perimeter of the fence, the drone disconnected from my phone, wouldn't reconnect again, and I couldn't fly it over there at all, which is really weird. And initially I was sort of thinking, is there some kind of weird anti-drone technology here blocking this, because it's actually some kind of secret government facility? But then I walked around the corner and discovered this. It's a surge pond. There's a hydroelectric power plant right down at the bottom of this mountain, and there's a reservoir at the very top of the mountain. So when that reservoir releases its water, this kind of is used to stabilize the pressure so it doesn't cause damage on the way down. And that's what that is. And yes, you're right, a simple Google search would have revealed that answer, but then we wouldn't have got to go on this lovely adventure, and I wouldn't have got to smash one of my drones. So if you aren't crushingly disappointed by the absolute anticlimax, which was the reveal of what that object was, you can join me on the return. But let's be honest about this particular genre of video, which is finding strange things on Google Maps. Most of the time it turns out to be something not quite as interesting as you were hoping for. And the question is, what were you hoping for? Were you hoping for an actual government facility, aliens perhaps? Or actually maybe it does look a little bit like that pit in Jurassic Park where they kept the raptors. Clever girl. Now I came up this way, but I'm gonna... Shut up, goat! It's a very confused goat down there. I come up that way. I'm going to try and see if I can go down that way over there. That's a long, long way down. I think I'm just going to walk the rest of this bit, just aware there's a very nasty cliff right there, and I don't want to run, and there's so many things to trip on. But I've had a look at the map, and I'm pretty confident that if I follow this level around, it'll reconnect with over there, and then there's a much easier way back down the mountain. Once again, I don't recommend anybody does this. Even up here, there's still a hut. Look at this. No, there's toilet roll. Why is there toilet roll everywhere? Who comes up here to take a dump? I suppose it is quite private, but that's a good sign that this is at least, I'm not going to say a popular route, but somebody's been up here recently, because that toilet roll looked quite fresh. Oh no. Okay, I found my limit. I'm pretty sure I can see tracks of people going up there, but yeah, I am not going up that. That is loose and crumbling, and that you can kind of see there's a bit of a trail, but one slip on that and you're dead. So no, that's a level of risk. No, that's just too risky. I'm not doing it. I'm not doing it. I'm gonna go back the way I came. No, it's just not worth it. It's just not worth it. And it's frustrating because, like, just literally, if I can get to there, and then it's just a nice winding path all the way down the mountain, but that's just too... No, don't even consider it, Stephen. Just leave. Just leave. Turn around, go, don't do it, you're on your own. Just don't risk it. just because somebody else has went that way. And I say somebody else, that could just be a goat trail. It might not actually be a people trail, so no, we're going back and we're going to go down the safe way. Oh, and if anyone feels like they'd like to be a more active part of the channel or support the channel, I now have a Patreon setup where you can go and you can pay a small amount of money per month to just say thanks for the videos, or to just actively support the channel. You get benefits like you'll get some posts and emails that'll be exclusive to those paid members, and some of the higher tiers you might get information about giveaways and very occasional meetups. So if that's of interest, the link is down in the description. But about 45 minutes later, I'm down. I bumped into those guys I met earlier, and they told me to come up over this ridge and said, there's a seat with an amazing view. There's the seat, and there's the amazing view. Look at that. That's the hydroelectric plant away down there. It's got to be the best seat in Wales. Perhaps a more perfect place to end this video. And once again, a reminder, none of these areas are supposed to be accessed by the public, so you do so very, very much at your own risk, and I don't recommend that you do, because quarries are very dangerous places. So just enjoy the video.